As you sow, so shall you reap. Georgia and I took my little sister Lara to the beach a couple weeks ago, but we told her that we'd only go if she got up nice and early, because we always like to go early to skip the traffic. And as we were driving, there was no traffic at all, and I decided to teach her a life lesson, and I said, if you do what most people aren't willing to do, you'll get what most people won't get. And I first sort of learned this philosophy when I was traveling, and you'd be in the city center and everything would be expensive, it'd be busy, and as soon as you walk a few kilometers, all of a sudden things are quieter, more authentic, cheaper. And it sort of taught me this lesson, the same lesson that the traffic taught me, which is if you just put in that extra bit of effort, if you are above that average line, you're gonna get an above average result. One of life's greatest misconceptions is that you can only ruin it by being addicted to drugs, alcohol, gambling, something major like that. But you can actually ruin it by being completely average. If you have an average diet, you'll have average health and you'll feel just okay. If you have average financial discipline, you'll have okay finances and you'll sort of be struggling your whole life. You don't have to do anything terribly wrong in order to live below your potential. Actually, you need to do something right to live up to your potential. Imagine getting to the end of your only life and you have to admit to yourself that you didn't put the extra effort in and therefore you didn't get anything extra in return. You don't want to shrug when your grandkids or your friends ask you what you did in your life. You want to have interesting stories to tell and crazy experiences that you gained by putting in that extra effort, going that extra mile. Like so many people wait till they get to the very end to realize this, and I don't want that to be you. There's an old Zen Buddhist story of a monk who wanted to gain wisdom. He traveled far and wide throughout the country trying to find lessons that would teach him and make him more wise. And after a while, and to no avail, he goes to this renowned monk that is sure to show him the way. So he goes to him and he says, "Master, I've tried everything. I've gone far and wide. I've done every teaching that is known, but I just simply cannot get wise. Can you please help me?" And the master says to him, "Yep, sure, come this way." And he leads him to this this fruit tree. And they get to the fruit tree and the master points to the top of the tree and he says, "You see those fruit up there?" And he points to the fruit at the very, very top. And the monk says, "Yeah, I see them." And he says, "I want you to go up and I want you to pick the very tallest one." And he says, "But why? There are many fruit that are right here, right below. I can pick them easily with my hand." And the master says, "But that's what everyone does. And that's why nobody gets to taste the sweetest fruit." So the monk climbs up the tree, goes all the way to the top. A couple of branches break. He almost slips. He has to grab on. He gets cut and some birds, hit him. But he finally gets the fruit and he comes back down and he takes a bite and it's the juiciest, sweetest fruit he's ever tasted. And in that moment, he realized what the master was trying to teach him was that the fruit that is all around, that's easy to get, is just mediocre fruit. And when you put in the extra effort that no one else is willing to put in, you get the reward back that no one else will be able to get. So just like the fruit at the top is the sweetest, the most meaningful achievements in life are going to take that extra effort to get. So what does this mean in actual life? So when you feel like giving up in anything you're doing, that's the exact point where most people quit. It's when they feel that resistance, when they don't know what they're doing, when things are getting hard. But when you push through that exact point, that's when you actually get the reward that you're after. So if there are two players and they're both training to they're both training for the next game, and one of them stops training when they get tired, obviously the other one is going to be the one who gets more skill and is able to excel when it comes time for the game. No one wants to push through the tough part. That's why it's the tough part. That's why most people are average, and the people who push through that tough part are above average. And so to apply that to your life, just every time you feel that feeling, then just recenter and refocus and think, this is the exact time that I need to keep going. And whatever it is you're doing, if you're riding, if you're playing sport, if you're going to the gym, if you're dieting, on that day where you really want to cheat, that's the exact day where you can't cheat, because that's the exact day that you get past the average point and you become above average. In each task you do in your life, you got to ask yourself, am I putting in above average effort? In your relationships, you got to ask yourself, am I putting in an above average effort to keep this going? And in your broader life, you've got to think, is my vision above average? Because if your vision isn't above average, if you're not putting more effort into your relationships than most people do, and you're not putting more effort into each task than most people put in, then you're gonna have average results, average relationships, and an average life. And to some people that's okay, and if that's okay, then you wouldn't be watching this. So if you're still watching this, then you don't want that. You need to be constantly thinking about this. Am I going that extra mile? That extra mile doesn't have to be much. It can be making a cup of tea for someone else when you come back to your table. It can be, getting someone else a coffee and when you go downstairs. It can be anything. It can be dribbling the ball 105 times instead of 100 times. Whatever it is, if you can just go 5% better than average. When you're at the gym, you're doing 12 reps, just do 13 each time. And you'll start to push yourself past that point, and you start to see that's the exact spot where results are actually made. No one gets stronger by doing the first 5 reps. It's the reps that you can barely lift anymore, where you actually start to build the muscle. If you want an interesting, incredible, above average life, then make sure everything that you do is above average and incredible in itself, because those are the small actions that take you to the point above average that you're trying to get to. So I hope you found value in that. This is a topic that's been really front of mind for me for like a year, and I've finally been able to crystallize it. So I hope it helps, and I hope that you can keep those small little cues in mind all the time throughout your daily life. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. That just lets me know that what I'm doing is working or not working. Leave a comment, let me know if you liked the video, because that really means a lot. I don't know what I don't know, so please tell me if you enjoy it, or if you don't enjoy it, tell me why. And subscribe to get more of these. Thanks. Was it good?